DJ Suede, live in the mix. Yeah. From the bunker of Heavyweight Slap Studios. In the mix.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, Omaha. This is Steven Saunders with the Omaha International Soccer League radio show. Today we got a special guest, Emmanuel Viel, co-owner and co-coach of the Omaha Kings.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me over here. I appreciate everybody. You know that I'm about helping local, and I'm excited to be the first person here on your show. So thank you for having me. I'm grateful. So thank you.
No problem. So, this show is going to focus about local soccer talent, local soccer communities, local soccer leagues. Just explain, just start the show, how did this get all started? And, and I know there's a lot more just than coaching and managing a team, because behind the scenes, you got your wife helping you out with the designs and all that she does. But how does one just form this foundation?
Well, it is not easy, obviously, especially doing it with your significant other, which is my wife, which I love her very much. The idea was I was part of the Omaha Vipers back in 2011, and I got to experience the inside of it. I'm an outdoor player originally, but when I went to play indoor, I just fell in love with the game and the speed and just how intense it was, and especially in the winter sports where there's nothing in Nebraska. I learned how to play the indoor game, but also learn how not to do business, because they folded the first year of their season. So it kind of broke my heart a little bit, and 10 years went by. And as I got into it, everything started leading me to what it is today. I had leagues, but I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska, and most players that play locally either play club, go to college, or they just play local leagues, and they don't have an outlet. And so I was one of them too, and I wanted to make a difference in our communities for players that need to be focused on and also need to be believed on, because if you're not a local person that believes in your community and believes in your local talent, then what are we doing, right? And so it started that way. It started with a name, and it started with envision and kind of having a vision of where the Kings are today. So kind of give you kind of a little brief story, but it's so much bigger than that. Obviously, there's so much more that go into it. But I just say a little bit what the Omaha Kings represent. We represent local. We represent belief. We represent passion, commitment. And as a minority owner, we got to show the next generations that things are possible and we can make it.
Omaha Kings is focused on local. So are you sticking to local, or have you had anybody from other teams out of state, hey, can I come try out for your team? And is Omaha Kings going to stick to local talent?
So I love that question. I had players from outside Nebraska come in. I had players from Chicago. I had players from outdoor teams come in, and it was really good. But realistically, we have so much local talent in Nebraska that they get overlooked. So my focus is building our core community, mentor them, making from amateur to semi to professionals, and change your life just as they're changing mine. So hopefully that answers your question. Do I focus on local talent? Yes. Do I get reach out from outside? I get people from South America, from Africa, from Europe, from everywhere texting me or emailing me to come in. But realistically, I'm just honest. My focus is our community.
Okay. So coming from last season, a 10-1 record, 5 undefeated at home and 1 loss away just before the playoffs. And averaging 10 goals a game and just only giving up 5, that's just amazing. Just especially in arena soccer, it's just amazing. Just giving up 5 goals a game. Your powerhouse defense with Morgan Penn and Efrain Flores back there, just and those two are coming back for the new season. Just explain their talents.
Well, it's just more than just those two players as well. Those two do represent the Omaha Kings and what we're about. But our team is not just individual players. It's a team that fights for one another. When you come to the Kings, you leave where you played before or where you come from, and then you come in and you try to fit in. You try to respect one another, and that leads into everybody fighting for one another. And that leads into defenders, going all out, our goalkeepers. But, you have Stevie C, you have Andy Rodriguez, you have Morgan Penn, Gabby, Pedro, Efren, I mean, those guys will die for the city, for our jerseys, and for each other. And that's why you right there, it says the record is you have an owner, you have coaches that believe in on our communities, that believe in those players, and then those players buy into it, and then they just do the work on the field. It makes it easier for us when they respect you and they believe in your work. So
Oh, I believe I've played against some of these guys and with some of these guys that are on the Kings, just amazing talent, but also behind this amazing talent with all their players. There's an amazing coach, a former professional player from Argentina, and I believe he's also your dad.
yeah, Carlos.
Carlos, he looks like he's like probably one of the best coaches in the Omaha area.
Yeah, he's not just a coach, but he played professionally for 20 years in Argentina. But he's just an incredible human being. He's a father to all these guys, and he's very very good at what he does, and he mentors me, and he's the reason why I am who I am, right? And knowing who he is and what he represents, our job is to keep doing what he also taught me and the guys, and really keep on going, man, because he's so unique, and I love him to death, and so do most of the players. So when you have someone like that, it makes it easier. You know what I mean?
Right. Next question is: have you had any of the major arena soccer league teams reach out for any other players? I know you got a former player, Ali Sodal, down in St. Louis, I believe.
Yes.
Is there any other players getting looked at, or have any players talk to you about the next level?
Yeah, so I have a lot of teams that want Omaha players. I've been through many of the leagues, and we're in the MLS right now, which is the first division of our league, and most of the players that have been reached out or wanting to go out, they experience what we established, and they know what we have here is so unique that they're open to it, but they know that we're just almost there as to make it, and they want to be part of it. They want to bring this team to the next level. But there was 3 to 4 guys that teams reached out to me, and I brought it up to them, and essentially they're sticking with the Kings because they want to make it to the level that we need to be. And so, yeah, your answer is yes. We have a million teams calling in, but the focus for everybody is to stay together as a family and make it so we all achieve our goals.
Right. So with the Omaha King players, with their schedules, with your practices and stuff, how do the players balance their daily lives with committing to this team and just playing for the city and playing with heart for the city, but also balancing their daily lives?
It's very difficult because so a lot of the players work, and a lot of the players work a lot of the different times, and so my job is to balance it. So we play at a lot of the nights, so 8 to 10 or 9 to 11, just to kind of that's not conflict any other family issues or anything like that. But it does affect a lot of the players because we do travel. We go to Denver and we come back. They go to work, then we got to play. So it's very important that my job is to balance them by taking care of their bodies, by making sure that they don't have any issues at home or any issues at work, so I can balance their mindset. But it does affect them, and I work the best I can with them because as much as they care for the field, I also got to make sure they have everything good at home, right? And so, but at the end of the day, it doesn't affect us that much because we're used to it. We've been around for 4 years, so we have a structure and a system that they follow, and it just makes it easier when they know that already.
All right, right. So I just know one of your major rules as a co-owner, co-coach is just he knows where I'm going with this, is do not play for any other leagues, focus on the Kings, and that is basically it. Like, just take care of yourself for the team and the city.
Yes. So my focus is that, and the reason is why is because I invest in my players and I work hard, and if you do play outside of it, it gives them a chance to get injured or affect them during the season. And then our focus is the Kings. So if you're doing anything outside, it might affect you in what we're doing. So my job is to keep them healthy. So if they do get injured or anything, I take care of them, right? So if they do get injured outside, that's on them. So my focus is making sure that we're there together, everything stays inside, and then out of the season, they're able to do what they want. But during the season, it's 100% Kings. If not, it doesn't work.
Right, and that's how it should be. If you're dedicated to a team, it's got to be 100% all in. So you got last year, like I said, you made it to the finals.
Yeah,
you made an amazing comeback in the semifinals, and then just ran out of gas a little bit. But you got some returning players, and then also there's some new players on the squad.
Yeah.
So the returning players with new players is hoping for a better outcome and mash those talents together, and you'll get probably a championship team.
So this year, like you said, last year was crazy, right? We played Cleveland in the semifinals. We ended up winning in overtime, but we were a man down. No, in overtime. We won in regular time, but we were 2 men down with a minute and a half, right? And then we were a man down with 45 seconds, and we ended up winning the game. And then we ended up going to the finals against Grand Rapids, which we lost. But we were losing by 5 goals. We came back. We ran out of gas, and then they beat us, right? This year, our talent pool is unbelievable. I'm not going to lie to you. This is the best year and the most talent we had the last 4 years of the Kings. We had about 90 people try out, and we have half of the roster new. And they're the most respectful, talented kids that want to be part of it. And I'm just beyond excited. I get geeked out just thinking about our team, thinking about the possibilities that we can do with this. And realistically, that we're hosting the Final Four this year is there's no other goal for us, and including me, is the only way this year is to win it. We're going all in. We're gonna try to represent our city, not just them, their last names, their jerseys, everybody they know, and we're gonna go for the title this year. That's the only way this year.
Right. Going all in. Even that heartbreaking loss, but there are still some accomplishments. MVP, Emmanuel, and also you had 3 players that made the All-Central team. How proud were you of that?
There's nothing better as an owner, as a coach, to see your players succeed, including like Emmanuel, right? He deserves the most out of it. He's worked hard. He's given me 100% commitment, and to see them shine and succeed, it means the world to me, because I invested my life for them, and they're doing the same in return, and it shows. And some of the people don't see it, but we're at practice, the things that we talk about and the things that we do for each other is incredible. And so to see them succeed, this is all that we work for. It's incredible. I'm speechless about it, to tell the truth.
All right. With the first game coming up here next Saturday, you guys get the first crack at the new team of the league.
Oof.
How do you feel about that? Because you don't know what you're going into, but also you know the talent that you have.
So we're going to Denver normally is tough, because when you play in the high altitude, you run out of breath. Knowing that the first year team, I know they have some previous players from Colorado Inferno, so they have some professional players from previous years that have experience. I'm a little worried just because of the altitude and how we're going to react with that. So the subs have to be important and critical to make sure we don't get tired. But I'm the most confident I've ever been with this team. I don't care where we go. We can go to Argentina. We can go to wherever. And I will have my players back. And I know that we're going to succeed. And I know December 16th, at the end of the game, we're going to be victorious. And we're going to come back 1-0 back to Omaha December 17th.
All right. And that game will be live on streaming online.
Yeah, they will stream it normally on their social media pages. It will be on YouTube, either Twitter or Facebook. Normally they share on their page and they will let us know. But make sure you watch that and support our players to make sure that we start the season the right way and we come back home the right way.
Right. Is there any team in the league? What is the – I don't know how to word this. I'm just going to put it straight out. What is the most hostile away games have you had? What are the cities like that is like the worst towards you guys, and what is the most respected city you've been to?
I think they're all unique in their own ways. You're not gonna have family by any means, and all the teams know it. I think the most intense, teams that we played with the most intense fans, was Cleveland. When we went to Cleveland, they're just really talented and physical, but their fans are like wild. It reminds you of like home, and everything else. Chicago has a really good team, but they're hostile as well. They're loud. They got a lot of drums, fans, and then they throw you off mentally. Other than that, I think we're just used to it. Does that make sense? Because I train my guys that way too. Okay. I train him with chaos. So when I make random calls, I turn up the music just to mimic scenarios that happens in a game. But last year, Grand Rapids was probably the toughest team we played. Maybe because it was after the semifinals. Yeah. But I think Grand Rapids and Cleveland are the most intense and the most hostile, if you call it, fans. Does that make sense?
It does. And has there any deep rivalry develop between the Omaha Kings and another team? Like,
Yeah.
what would you say your rival is?
Well, we're everybody's rival.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like
and
we
like-
are. Hey, listen, we go everywhere. We're everybody's rival. They wanna
Right.
they wanna play because we create chaos. I mean,
Right.
my job is I go somewhere. I want to create chaos because I want to make sure they remember us, and when we leave, they know who we are. So they want to beat us every time. So, for example, Cleveland is a rivalry. They're
Right.
humongous brands since the '80s. They won
Yeah.
national championship, right? Well, we just beat them in the semifinals. I have a good relationship with the owner, all the owners. But it's a rivalry. Now, Chicago Mustangs, we played them the last 2 years a bunch of times. That's a deep rivalry. Their rivalry between us, it goes probably more than any other teams, right? Because of how close we are and how many times we played each other. But to tell you your answer, the Omaha Kings are everybody's rivals, just like Argentina is. Like, right? We are everybody's rivals. They're owned by Argentine, owners that are very passionate, that are wild, and people just want to beat us. And I don't care.
That's great. Like, if you're the guy, if you're the one with the targets on your back, that's great, right? For the Omaha Kings.
I love it.
Come get us, come dethrone us.
I love it, man. That's what it's sports, man. If you okay, so you can be this way and not back it up. I'd rather be this way and back it up, right? So I that's what we talk about it, but we back it up on the field. So that's very important for us to do.
Right. So the first home game, December 23rd, Saturday.
Yeah.
Are you expecting a lot of fans to come out? Are we gonna get crazy? Or
no, it's gonna be wild. I think the whole season, due to having a partnership with the Papillion Soccer Club, Racing Canes, and just different, Honda, Young Car Pack. There's so many things. This year is looking crazy. A lot of fans. I would recommend you guys to come out December 23rd, right before the Christmas, to get a little taste of what indoor soccer is about. Because once you go yourself and you take your kid, you're gonna be like, what? Right? Because I'm telling you right now, as an athlete, as a sports athlete, as a player myself, there's nothing better to go to those games and geek out about the speed and the speed, the talent, their movements, and everything else, that you can take your kid, your daughter, your son, or whatever it is, and take him there and experience something so intense, and actually get to experience the players that are local and actually be inspired to be the next Omaha Kings or Queens, right? Like that's just everything. You got to go to those games. You got to experience it. You got to feel the energy. And if you don't feel it through me right now, then what are you doing?
Oh, the energy is definitely there. We're all excited for the upcoming season for the Omaha Kings. It's just an amazing team, amazing local talent. And just, is there anything that, you just said it all, just energizing and just and how are the players? Are the players excited for the upcoming season?
The players are really pumped up. The players know that we have something unique coming up, and more than that, it's just that it feels right this year, and I have a right group around me. I feel more secure than ever. I have the right mentors. I have the right players. And it makes it so much easier this year that I'm becoming a better leader for them. Right. And it allows them to be the leaders they need to be on the field. And so with that said, I just want people to show up because these players deserve it. It's not about me. It's about the community. It's about the players that grind, that go to work, that bleed, that sweat, that cry about things that you guys want to experience. So if you're local and you really support local talent, I expect to see you there and bring the energy, because these players literally love our city and they love what everybody does in our community. So they represent you guys the right way.
So let's talk about a couple of players that, obviously they grew up in Omaha, but they aren't from Omaha. They were just like you. They moved here when they were a young kid, and just like, how has the world changed? Or have you talked to any players about that, like about their world changing just because the opportunity you gave them?
Yeah, Lisa Doll is one of them, actually. And it's something that touches me deeply because I forget sometimes. I work so hard on everything I do that, you get criticized a lot of the times. You don't get any positive feedback a lot of the times as an owner. But then when you actually do what's right and the years go by, you start seeing players, tell you things like, hey, you changed my life. You done so much for me. Now people notice me. People see me different. You invested in me. Now my life has changed and I'm achieving my goals. Lear's one of them, at least one of them. I mean, all these players that know what I've invested, how hard it's been for us, they they believe in it and they made it. A lot of these players have made it. Sebastian Contreras just messaged me yesterday, the first captain of Omaha. He played for the Kings. He said in a comment, nobody has treated me better as an owner like you. And to me, just little words like that, it fuels me because I'm fueled by so much other things that just little words from my players receiving something or achieving something or changing their lives or finding a sponsor for themselves or their wives or their kids are looking up to them because now they're Kings players and they never even looked that way. To me, that's the best feeling as a human being that anybody can receive. And to me, that's what drives me. Is sometimes I don't know where to look because it's very tough, but those moments is what really drives me to the next level to achieve my goals. And to tell the truth is it's everything that you work for.
Right. Because the Omaha local talent has from ages like 10 all the way up to 40. You could find leagues, you could find talent. Yeah. I mean, if you just go watch a U15 game, like those kids just put out everything, and they're just so talented now with the coaches and with all the clubs out there. It's just amazing. And then they grow up, and then there could be a future King player out there.
Yeah, that's the idea, But you gotta believe. You gotta believe, not just it all. And I'm gonna say this because we all say believe on the players. If you don't believe in yourself, how can you believe in others?
Right.
That's my question. So we can talk about the players and this. It took for me to believe in me, to understand what I'm worth, so I can believe in my players. Because if I don't believe in myself, I can't teach others how to believe in others. So you got to believe on your work for others to believe in you. Because sooner or later, they're not going to believe on your work if you don't show it. So believe on yourself, believe on your players, bring the passion, bring the energy, and that will grow.
All right. Well, guys hear that, he's believing himself. He's believing you guys. So King players, King fans, he believes in all you guys. Make sure you come out to that first home game, December 23rd. And also, I believe he has a couple exciting announcements to make.
Yeah. So one thing, I have a couple. I'm excited about this. All right, let's do this. All right. So a couple of things that I wanted to go over is I'm gonna be starting the Omaha Kings and Omaha Queens media side of it, and I'm gonna be bringing the best employee in the nation to that, which is my beautiful wife. So if you're looking for any growth, anybody that cares for business, that really cares deeply to grow your business, reach out to the Omaha Kings and Queens, obviously Emmanuel and Natalie. But also a couple of things that we're going to be investing in the future is we're going to be investing in the Omaha Kings youth. And as well, we're planning on opening the Omaha Queens Academy and the Omaha Queens professional side of it as well. So you get ready, because 5 years later, we talked about it, but actions speak louder than words. So Omaha, if you really care and if you really want to see talent or somebody that deeply cares for the community, well, you know where to go, okay? Because at the end of the day, you have people like Steven, like Marlon Emmanuel, like myself, that really invest in our communities. And so there's somebody out there for Winter Sports that wants to make a difference, not just in outdoor, but in indoor, and it will change your kid's life, not just physically, mentally, and technically. We will actually teach players how to be better in the community. So get excited. Big things are happening. I'm local. If you really care for people that are local and that are minorities or whatever the scenario is, the Omaha Kings and Queens are the place for you to go, because we really care for our communities and we care for everything that goes around it. And if you haven't heard of us, hey, now you have.
Let's step away from the Kings, but I'm just talking about in general,
yeah.
Like with yourself and your players, they talk about it. What is the transition like from playing outdoor to indoor, and just how different is it? And whatever, like me, I know I'm a better outdoor keeper than I am an indoor keeper. Like, I will say that out right now. And the transition is just so much different, but I still play it because I love it.
The difference is humongous, because is the speed of play. Yes, in outdoor you can move but you're able to kind of be flat-footed a little more and just kind of wait for the ball. In indoor, the difference is that you're always on your toes and the ball never goes out. So in outdoor, you might miss-hit it, and then it goes out of bounds. In indoor, you might miss-hit it, but it comes back to you and you're not ready. So the one thing about indoor is you have to step on the ball, right? We're used to hit it in outdoor with the inside of your foot. In indoor, you step on the ball, because if you don't do that route, it bounces off, or you might have to take extra touches, which it will actually now what will happen then is you'll lose the ball and then you might get injured. So if you step on the ball, it facilitates how many touches you do. Also, your movements, right? In outdoor, you might play 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes. In indoor, you're moving up and down for a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and you're subbing on the fly. Most kids are not used to it. And they're like, oh, I only play 2 minutes. I want to play 5. Well, it's not how much you play. It's what you do with the time, right? And so it's very different. Like we have one target, 2 midfields, 2 defenders, right? You have lines of 3 like hockey. And so it's very unique. So it takes a player a little bit because their mindset is not ready for it, right? Their brain is not adapting to it because of how fast and how their reactions work. So it does take, they say that truly it takes 3 years for an indoor soccer player to get used to all the aspects of it. So when players come in from outdoor, they expect, well, I'm ready. Well, realistically, there's so much more to it that goes with it that I'm mentoring them then to how to be better on the field, but if you don't play, how do you react? Right. And if you're going on and travel to Denver, if you don't get to play, or if you're playing 5 minutes, are you complaining? Or are you not complaining? Right. And so it's a lot of different mindsets. And I respect everybody, but your time is earned, not given.
Right.
With the Kings. I don't know where everybody else, but with me, I'm old school mentality where you respect everybody, but your time is earned, not given.
Like with indoor, it's like, okay, you're tired. I know you've been on the field for 2 minutes. You're tired, but you're going to hurt the team more if you stay on the field being tired than getting fresh legs out there.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it allows me to see if someone's playing for themselves or playing for the team too. Because if you're playing in for 4 minutes, if you're tired, then you're doing it for yourself at that point, not the team, right? So it helps me to see, okay, sub out. Maybe you're not playing next game. I got to work on you on this, or you're not my fit on the team.
Right. And then like outdoor, you can like dribble around 2 people, have 20 yards of space. Indoor, if 2 people are on you, that means one person's open for probably a good shot.
Yeah, and then if you go up and then you lose it, right? You shoot and the goalkeeper has it and the defender's up. Now you have a player behind you waiting to receive it. The goalkeeper throws it. Now you're turning around, running back, right? And you're getting frustrated because you're wasting your energy of going forward. Now you're wasting your energy and going back, and then you don't get the ball, and then you don't want to sub out because you want to go forward the next time to score, but then you cost your team right there. Right. You're subbing and you're wasting your energy, and now you're costing your team. So it's all about controlling your times and mentoring the moments, because in indoor is such an emotional roller coaster. I mean, you can be winning 5-0 at first quarter, and the second quarter is 5-5. So like you cannot put your head down. One thing people do or used to do, and is they get scored and is they get down. Like my thing is, hey, how do you react when you get scored? If you put your head down, they're not helping your team. You're doing it about yourself. And the player and the person that I am is, hey, when the whistle's over, that's when we can talk about the issues. We can talk about the things, but do not put your head down. And if you put your head down and don't get back with the ball, then you're not doing your job. So a player has the ball, they lose it, and they put their head down. Don't get it back. Hey, you lost the ball. Get it back right away. You lost the ball. Get it now for you and your team. It's not about you anymore.
Indoor, indoor, 1 goal leads nothing.
Nothing.
It's just you got plenty of time to make that up.
I mean, we were losing 7-2 last year to State Line Falcons, and we made some. I had to go at halftime and give him some energy, right? And then we came back and it was 12-7 at the end of the game. So in a matter of 6 minutes, it's how you do and how you react and what your intensity is, if you want it or not. I mean, if you want to quit, then it's not for you, right? If you want to be a professional player, then stick to playing just normal league. And I don't want to be rude, but the mindset of a professional player, the mindset that I'm trying to think is that lose the ball, get it back. How do you react? Keep your head up. Do you keep working, or do you give up for your team? That's how I do my things. You know what I mean?
And I don't want you to drop any names, but do you have a couple like hotheads on your team, like Maddie Lee, whatever? Or
our team is a lot of people are hot-headed. I mean, your coach is by an Argentine person that's hot-headed, but I feeding I love that. If you see our practices right now, they're probably the most intense practice I've ever seen. Like they're going so hard, and so they're all hot-headed because they're all passionate, because that's the culture I'm trying to build. I'm not trying to build people that are just RoboCops. I'm trying to build a culture that has passion and emotions, because then if we don't have that, then how do you drive yourself to it? Right? We're human beings. We want something. We struggle in life. A lot of us came from different countries that didn't have anything. So I want to build something that people are passionate about, that drive themselves to show others that this is right. you know. And I think the players, I'm not playing. I retired 2 years ago. I was that way my first year. I dove into a 50-50 with my head first, right?
Right.
Like, I'm not lying. And so my players do it for themselves because they know what we're trying to build. And that creates some synergy with people because people see it and they're like, oh, I want to be part of that. Look at that. Right. Well, it takes time to build that, but that's what we have.
Right.
It's so unique that people are like, how did this kid do it? How did this girl did it? How did this do it? But we got no. It's not about the money. It's not. It's about your perseverance. It's about your passion. It's about your vision. It's about your drive.
Is that the same? Is that like how, like, you know, how do you get your players not like talk back to the refs or not yell to refs, not get a stupid like foul or blue card or?
Well,
like,
it took time, you know, and then also myself too, because you start evolving,
Right.
You start acting different, and you start learning what, you know, how it is. So like this year is probably the easiest year. Like I'm really mentally like so stable. The players know that. The players act differently. And my role this year is to be that person, but it's to achieve to get into the arenas, right? So we can all succeed. Their role for our kids that have been playing for 4 years, their role is to mentor the younger ones as well.
Right.
And this year has been probably the best that they have actually opened up and mentor players that way. And so it makes it that much easier, man. Like this year is going into year 4. Next year, October 17th is year 5.
Okay.
Right. So this is, you know what I mean? So it says normally 3 to 5 years is when people start knowing. This year, I feel so much different. We feel so different. Things that came our way and it feels right.
Right. Yep. You just feel like, because what was it? Was it 2022 that you guys won the MASL2 Cup?
Yeah, we won the Midwest. We beat the Wings in overtime with Leo Mejia's goal. And then we went to the Final Four in Muskegon, but we lost to San Diego Sockers in overtime, because they won the national championship there. And last year we played in the MLIS and we won the Central Division, and we lost in the finals to Grand Rapids.
Right. So like he says, building with all, now they're hungry for more. They're going to be ready. They're going to get it this year. You said you retired 2 years ago. You know, before your retirement, I believe everyone remembers this beautiful set piece backdoor to Ollie, just beautiful goal, beautiful pass. Like, just how did you see him? Like, or like, when did you see him? Did you guys set that up, or did he just make the run?
No, it's just how it is, man. Like we practice all the time, but it's when you know each other, you just know where they're at. You know, it's just the chemistry between each other. It's something that you work for during practice, and you start learning their voices, where they're at, position, and everything else. And when you click with somebody, and that's what the Kings I'm trying to do, and they're doing is you don't have to know where they're at. You just can hear their voice and know where they're at, right? And so that's the next level is yes, communication. But once you build a chemistry so well, it just becomes easy. It's like a magnet, right? Like, you know where they're at all times without knowing. And that's why soccer is so beautiful. When you get to a certain level of that game, like, you just know it's like tiki taka. You know where they're at, moving without even knowing each other, right? Yep. And so, yeah. Hopefully.
So each game, I know you guys got a big roster. Each game, what is the player size you can have on the bench, and how do you get down to that roster that you're going to take?
So this year it's been probably the biggest challenge because of how many kids tried out. It's probably around 90 players tried out, and I had to get rid of about 40 players during halfway through the season, and then so we had about 40 players at practices, so it's a lot. But during games, I'm very honest with the players. I started letting them know where they're at and what they need to do. It's 16 per game. So if they don't play, right, you can do 16 per game. If you have 2 games per weekend, it's 20.
Yeah.
But you roster 16. The rest is, I'm very honest, and I tell them, if you don't make the roster, I don't want to see you guys put your head down. I want to see how you react. Do you keep your head up? Do you positive? Right. Do you want to help on the field? Do you want to help outside of the field? And then do you go to practice, and do you react differently, or do you want to earn your spot? Because every game is different, and so you never know what can happen indoor. There's injuries, unfortunately, and anybody has to be ready. So my job is to keep those guys positive, because they do get down. Right. And how do we keep them positive is to communicate with them, to say, hey, you're doing great on this, but we got to work on this. If you work on this, you're going to challenge that position. And then, you know, and it will help them mentally as well. So, you know, that's my job, is to make sure those guys are mentally ready, because they might not play and they're down, but they might play the next game. And so you never know. You just got to be ready.
Have you announced it yet? Who are going to be your on-field captains, and who's going to help you lead the players of the new comers coming in?
So normally, like my players are my leaders that were originally my leaders that have been since day one with me are there's only two left there. Okay, so that's Bobby and Zuck.
Okay.
The other leader that I have is Mary Lira, but a lot of my players are leaders, but Lira and Zuck and Bobby are kind of my core that I say, hey guys, do this.
Mhm.
Like we're doing to do is a practice. Go ahead and start the practice and I'll set up the drills. They're my core guys, but I have Morgan. Um, I have some players there that are all leaders, but there's three of them that I tell them what to do more than others.
They know what to do. They know what to expect. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
guys.
You train them so then you
Right.
can start, so you can evolve, because the idea is to keep growing and growing and growing. It's not just to me be the person doing it all. That's just listen. I love it. I love this stuff to death, but I want to keep growing and evolving myself where I can let people be in positions that they can actually evolve and grow, right? Because if I can put Lear in a coaching position and change his life, then if I can put Zach to be in a different position, right? You're changing their life just like I'm changing my life.
Right. So, speaking of that, so like you're talking about the roster size and everything for the Omaha Kings. So is nobody's spot like guaranteed? Like, like each person comes out like, hey, I've been with the Kings for like 3 years, I'm gonna play. Like, no, it's gonna be earned every single
If you're not doing good, why would you play?
Right.
I don't care how long you've been with me. As long as you're playing and as long as you're not giving up, as long as you're evolving, then you're gonna earn your spot. But even if you're with me year 4, if you're out of shape and if you're didn't focus on you, somebody else is gonna take your spot. And that's the business side of it. I love my friends, I love everything, but friendship is one thing and business is another one. And all these players that I currently have know that, right? I had players in the past that didn't know that, and that cross between it, and it affected our friendship. Well, the players that I currently have now know the difference of what I want on the business and how I am as a friend.
Right.
That's the big difference is having the people that understands how you are as a person and understanding how you are as a business person, because the business decisions are completely different than they are as a friend's decisions. Right. I love you. You've been with me I know you're committed, but you're not advancing in what I need you to be.
Mhm.
So work on this. Let's work together. When you get there, you might earn your spot, but right now you got to grind.
Right. So if any players are listening, just make sure you work hard at practices 100%. If you don't make the Denver trip, like you said, don't get your head down. There's always another opportunity. Prove yourself, practice, and just give your city 100%. So got a little bit of time left. There's a moment I want to talk, you being the owner, a co-owner, and then your dad, Carlos, being, explain that moment when Argentina won the World Cup between the two, and how important was that for you guys to bond with that moment, and how, you got to share that moment with your father?
I don't know if you notice why I'm quiet. I'm actually going through that moment in my head right now. It was probably the most, I can't even describe it because I've never felt that feeling, right? Like I've never witnessed my Argentina win the World Cup. My dad got to see it in 86 and 78, but I never got to see it with none of my family members. I was born in 88. But for me, it was the most incredible moment of my life. Why? Because my father has been part of this Kings process since day one. And we have gone through so many obstacles as family members and even, miscommunications and things like that as people. And to see our country, Messi, first of all, our country winning the way they did, and having my dad next to me and being able to experience the first World Cup for me to Argentina to win it with my dad next to me and my wife, knowing that we're in business together on this, it was probably the best feeling of my life. Just my dad holding me and feeling those emotions of him crying and me crying, and just knowing that he's the person that taught me what I know now. It was the most emotional moment that I could ever have. And I would probably, if I could do it every day, I would, because having your family and especially your father, who's my idol, and be part of this, it was the moment that I needed, that my dad worked so hard for me to do.
Right.
So it was incredible, man.
Yeah. So, like my dad, he don't really know much about soccer, but He wanted to see what it was all about. I brought him to Barrett's, to the Omaha Outlaws for the USA versus England game. He actually had fun, whatever. And he was just like, oh, so this is your lifestyle. You like soccer. This is your passion. Like, yeah. So, I mean, it's just great having that passion. And you guys know, like, just him explaining this feeling. It's not, this soccer thing is not just a business. It's his passion. It's his life, and Omaha talent, you guys just got to be the same. Kids, adults, whatever. It's never too late to get into that passion for you guys if you really love the game.
Well, there's also, think about it like this. There's an outlet for you guys out there, right? When we were younger, we didn't have this outlet. So you now have an outlet of outdoor and indoor. So you have an owner that actually focuses on local players. So if you think that your life or you're not making it or something, you never know in your life who's looking at you. You might be having a bad game, but you might have a coach that sees you have a good touch. And that moment, it changes your life. So don't give up because you might be a step away from your goal. And you're literally giving up your goals just that easy. So keep working, keep grinding, keep working because there's people out there that really do care for what you do, including myself. Okay. So if you're a little kid that's struggling, there's actually good people out there that you can talk to, that you can be inspired by. Okay. But be the best person you can be on what you do, no matter what you do. Right. So even if you're a water boy or whatever, you never know what you can be in 10 years from now. Don't let others tell you. Do what you're supposed to do. Follow your path and keep grinding. Because if I'm able to do what I'm doing today, anybody can do it.
Yeah, I mean, you just said it straight from the heart. One last question: are you gonna make the trip down to Miami to go watch Argentina play?
So that's my goal. Actually, I tagged my wife. Ironically, my brother has a friend Antonella who's the food nutritionist for Miami. In Miami, she just got signed, and he lives with my brother. So I'm trying to go over there. I told my wife when I saw, I'm like, hey, babe, it's gonna be a good summer. So no, that's the idea. I want to see. I saw Messi play already in Copa America, World Cup. So did my wife. But there's nothing better than seeing a national team, especially Copa America. You work hard for the sport. This is all we do. And so if I went to the World Cup in Brazil, I'm definitely going to go to Miami and watch Argentina play. But I'm excited, man. This is the next 4 years. The next 3 years is going to be all soccer. It's going to be the next big thing, and everybody's fighting for it. You know what I mean? So luckily, I'm Argentine, and they won it. So it gives me a little synergy there. Right. And it's time to focus on the next big thing, which is a lot of the next generations here in our communities doing what's right. I think it's time for us to help one another, to help each other grow. And I think that's why I was super, super excited to be part of this, Steven, because I grew up with you. I seen you play. You've been part of the Kings a couple of times. And I know that you have the love and the passion for the sport as well. And there's nothing better for me than to help other community people to grow their business as well and to help them evolve, because you're only helping me as well. And if we're not doing that, then what am I supposed to do? Right. And so that's my role in life, is to help others, and the others help me. So I'm grateful for you having me. I'm excited to see you grow in this. I think you're gonna succeed. I'm like I said, I'm blessed to be part of this, and it was a great experience. And for you guys that are out there, please listen to Steven, follow him. Same with Emmanuel and Emmanuel, guys. And we're local people that are trying to make a big difference in our community. And so it takes time, but follow it through. I know it's gonna be a big thing.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate that. Man, we're honored to have you as our first guest, talking about the Omaha Kings, just talking about the background stuff that most people don't know about. They're like, we're going to go to the game, watch, and, they got talent, but it's, it's more than that. And, you guys just, if you haven't already, season tickets, I mean, I don't know. Are the season tickets on sale right now on Omaha FC?
They will be going in this week coming up. Same with if you guys didn't notice, my wife, everything that we do is customized, and it is done by the owner. So I do a lot of the field stuff. My wife does a lot of the graphics. If you see the graphics, she does it with love and passion, every detail. No other professional team, I think, has owners put in every detail to the T. That's how much we invest, and we actually want the love to show, and it does. So if you see this beautiful hoodie, it's going to be on the Omaha Kings page. It's all customized. It's owned by the owners. You want to be part of something different? You got it. here we are.
OmahaKingsFC.com. You guys go there for single game tickets, season game tickets, and your Omaha Kings merch. They got shirts, scarves. I believe you guys still got player
Jerseys. Yeah, we got stream bags. We got a lot of different things right now.
How far do you see the Kings going in terms of moving up the MLS ladder? So you got.
I'm trying to go the highest I can be, man. This city deserves it more than anything. So the question that Emmanuel Emmanuel just asked, for people that haven't heard it, he goes, "What's my goal for the Omaha Kings?" My goal has always been to take it to the highest I can be, because this city deserves it. Not just this city, but the players deserved it.
We got that. So if you guys go, Omaha Kings go to the next level, is that not going to run into the KC comments like territory? I don't know. Like, there's rights to that and everything. Would that run?
No, I will have my own. Like, there's nothing. Nobody has Omaha. I have. Yeah, I'm not. And we already played him one time when we weren't even part of that. We already beat him. Bobby Joffrey's goal with a man down. So I mean, we have everything already. This is the reason I grew up here, so I studied the markets, I studied the vision, and there's a reason why we're still around.
Right.
Most people that have been doing professional businesses really ran away after a year, and there's a reason why we're still here. And people are like, how are you still here? Well, you're not here, and you can't take that away from me. So they
took it as a business and not just.
Do you want to know the truth? People see me as a kid.
Yeah.
Because I'm this person. I don't need to wear a suit to make him look at me different. And so people see me as this kid, but then they see me start with the Kings now, and they go outside and they're like, I'm like, yeah, we're huge outside of USA. Like, outside of Nebraska, we're humongous.
Yeah.
And like, they don't see me as Emmanuel. They see me as the owner of Emmanuel, because like they respect me because I grinded through those times. Right. But here they're like, oh, you're a kid. No, little did you know that here's what I have behind me. So like, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. I'm this person, and I'm going to be who I am. I want to make a difference. And if people want to judge me, let them judge me. I'd rather show my actions than just speak. That's just what I do.
Right. All right, Omaha. Have a good afternoon from 95.7 The Boss.
Thank you, everybody that's listening to this.
First game, December 23rd.
Vamos,
be there.
carajo.
I know I'll be there watching. You guys just make sure you're there for a hell of a game. And yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody, as always listening, supporting, that are new to watching the Kings. And thank you to 95.7 The Boss for allowing us to be here. Thank you. And be out there supporting local communities and local owners. And I can't wait to see you guys out there. And like I always say, goodbye. Ciao.
It's about to get lit with DJ Suede live in the mix.